So this evening is the final project, as we've said. I'm going with a bit of an inspiration hit this evening. My daughter's recently become obsessed with a certain style of, well, it's like it's not even an art form, it's just a certain Japanese form of characterization as such. Now, you're going to kill me for pronouncing it wrong, but it's either kawaii or kawaii. So it's spelled Kuwaii. So it just makes everything look cutesy, gives anything and everything a face and a smile and a personality. They love pastel colours and all that kind of thing. So this evening I am making a pencil pot. But it's I'll show you it from above first. So each of the pots are Hexagon. And then the bit that is kawaii inspired is that it's decorated with these cutesy little flowers and has got little faces. Now my daughter, I had to steal this back. She did have it in her room. And as you can see, a few things in it that are mine, that I've put in just to show the size of things in general. So this one was made using Purple Posy. Now, I was one of the demos who was fortunate to get Purple Posy ink before the issue was discovered and it was discontinued. So I felt that I needed to show it in another colour just so that people can see that, you know, it is in another colourway. Rather than markering every little bit of stamp I've done here, I'll do it in a different colour and then we can look at which one we prefer. So we'll get started. Move that to one side. So instead of Purple Posy this evening, I'm going with Petal Pink, another pastel shade, but one that I feel will work just as well. So you will need 3 pieces of card. These will be one for each pot. Okay, so piece number 1, which will do the tallest pot, will measure 6 inches by 9.5. So they're all 9.5. It's only the width of the piece that changes. The medium pot is 4.25 by 9.5, and then the smallest pot is 3.5 by 9.5. Okay, and you need to score each one of these. And what I've also done is at the top of each of the pots, I've given it a reinforced edge. And that's just so when you're pulling your pens in and out of the pot, you're not destroying the edges of it. It keeps its strength and it can keep all of your things within it without eventually caving and you know, losing all that strength that's required to keep things stood up. I do have some heavy bits of like scissors that are heavy, bits of stationery that are quite heavy, and it does stand up to them. You do have to distribute the weight a little bit, but it keeps them up. So we'll get scoring. And I'm going to start with the biggest piece. I'll just grab my scoreboard. And then my tool. Just make sure I'm still live because my laptop's decided that I'm not anymore. No, there we are. Okay, so on the 6 by 9.5, we're going to start on the 9.5 side, and we're going to score this at 1/2 inch, at 2, at 3.5, at 5, at 6.5, and at 8. And then I'm going to turn this to the short side and score it at 2 and at 5.5. And this short edge here is going to be bit that we fold over to reinforce. This part here becomes the base, and then these are the sides with the adhesive strip. And that's kind of the same as we'll do on these other two, except the measurements change ever so slightly. So we are still live. It's just my laptop that's decided to lose connectivity, which is always amazing midway through a live. So again, on the 9.5 inch side, which is where we'll start, it's 1/2 inch, 2. So the scoring on the long side remains the same for all 3 pieces. It's the scoring on the short side that will differ. So 1/2 inch, 2, 3.5, 5, 6.5 and 8. And then we're going to score this to the short, turn this to the short side, and we're going to score it at 2 and 3 3/4, like so. Wait, I've got connection back. Let me just quickly get your comments up so I'm not ignoring you all. And we'll bring the small piece in again on the 9.5 inch side, and we'll score this again in those same places. So 1/2, 2, 3.5, 5, 6.5 and 8. Rotate it to the short side, and we're going to score this at 2 and at 3. So that's all 3 pieces ready. No more scoring required. There is a tiny bit of cutting needed. I'll just pop my scoreboard away. So I'm going to burnish these first. I'm going to find where I've put it. We'll get all these done, and then as you'll see, that'll fold over to become the reinforced edge, and that's the base, and then it'll fold round. And it'll be the same method for the others, the only difference being the measurements themselves. Now while I burnish all of these, I'll just take the opportunity for a last reminder that today is the last day in which you can comment on this live video, any birthday party posts, any Instagram posts, any blogs that I've written that are related to the birthday party week, to get your entries into my giveaway. The winner will win a box of sunshine kit from myself. And the more comments you make on you only get 1 inclusion for this live video, but for the others, the more that you comment on those other posts, other blog posts, Instagram, etc., each comment will be an entry into the draw. So the more comments you do, the more entries you will get. And then tomorrow, so I'll cut it off at 23:59 tonight, and then from tomorrow I will collate all of those together and we will look at who the winner is. I've been testing some random generators today to see which ones I'm going to use, and I've found one that's wholly reliable, so we're going to go with that. And I will record it and then throw the winner up on here tomorrow afternoon. So just a quick reminder, it is your last opportunity. Okay, so starting with the biggest box, we have got all our scores going on there. I haven't burnished that bottom line, just noticed. And once I've cut, then I'm going to stamp, and I'll explain why I've done it a bit backwards, and that's purely because we only want to stamp in this area here, and we also want to stamp after, you know, it helps you place your flowers a little bit better. I didn't want it on the bends as such, not like with a normal box where I wouldn't mind where they went. This one I was a bit more particular. So cutting wise, from the bottom we want to get rid of this tiny little skinny rectangle on the right hand side, and then we want to cut up each of these tabs. You don't need to mitre with these, as they are going to be the base of the box, so you want them rectangular, otherwise it'll look a bit odd on the bottom when you come to bring it together. So up each of those, like so. And then on this side you just want to miter ever so slightly there, because what we're going to do is we'll fold this over and then we'll bring it together. So in fact it might be easy if we get rid of this little square altogether at the top, like so. And then that's the template you want for each of these. So I'll leave that there while I then bring in the next one, and we'll copy what we've done. So miter there, and take the rectangle and then the top square off completely. Now you might be prefer to use longer scissors, you might prefer to use your trimmer. I've got my snips here, and that's just because this the smallest box, I prefer using snips on for smaller projects. I sometimes go a bit overboard with my bigger scissors and end up taking off bits that I didn't need, or cutting too far along the line, meaning that the bends and so on aren't where I need them. So that's the second one. We'll get this final one done. So miter, and again on that middle piece, taking the bottom off entirely. And then taking the top square off entirely. And then I haven't burnished that last one, so we'll give that a quick burnish. Like so. And then up each of these to create the tabs. Now you'll see the tabs on the smallest box are actually bigger than the tub is actually going to be, and that was just because I did want all the tubs to have the same circumference. I didn't want them to be smaller tubs, so as you'll see if I bring it back in, all three of them have the same diameter to them. But if I hold it to the side, you'll see this one's only 1 inch high, this one's about 1.5 inches, and then I think this one, once you put it together, is so 2.5. It's about 3.5. It's the tallest one. So we'll get our stamps out. So what I'm using is the Hippo Happiness set, because it's got lovely smiley faces in it that we might want for our kawaii, you know, inspired decoration. It's also got this cutesy little flower. It's also got this cutesy little butterfly. And I did tell my daughter I would try a butterfly one. So that's what I'm going to go with this evening. We're going to go with butterflies. And I'm just going to use the outline stamp, which is this one here. And then the other stamp I'd be using is, I'm going to use this tiny little smiley face here, and I'm going to use this smiley face here. So we'll get all those out and just pop them on there until I need them. Okay, so is that big enough? Yeah. We'll mount it on a block. It's only small, so I've got my A block here. And then I'm doing tone on tone. So I've got the matching petal pink ink. And I'm going to start with the smallest. So how I've done it is, where my score lines bump, I've got where the indentations go here. And that's it. And all I'm going to do is that middle strip, which means on this particular one, they're going to actually be quite big. So I am going to stamp a little bit onto the bottom. Not by much, but just enough. Just turning my stamp ever so slightly to get a random stamping look. Like so. Actually, I'm going to pop one there. And that's that one done. And what I do is I then work out where the back's going to be, which is going to be there. So you've got these two, which are going to be the front. So you just pick one. And I'm going to use my Memento for this. And because this is the smallest box, I'm going to use the smallest face. This block's a bit overkill for it, but I like to be able to see all the way around properly. I'm going to pop it on this one as central as I can. And there we go. So that's the smallest one done. We're now going to move on to the middle one, and we're going to do the same method for this as well. So just stamp those butterflies all across the middle. Like so. And then again, I swapped the face out on this one. I didn't use the smallest, I used the next one up. And we're going to do the same. So 2, 3, it's these two. So I'm going to do it same as the other one, which I put it on the third one. Try and get the middle. There we go. And then the final one, do the same again. This time the butterflies obviously need to be more. I think my petal pink needs re-inking. I know it's a pale colour, but I don't think I'm quite getting the ink out of it. I should be. And there we go, all the way across. So like all my other projects, in fact all the projects are available and will remain available on my YouTube, which you can access via my blog. So my blog is hullahbaloo.com, and the blog posts are there straight away on that first page as soon as you're greeted in. On each of those posts you will find a list of all the products I've used, how to purchase them. There is an add to cart button, which means you can, if you click that button, it will take you through to my Stampin' Up shop and it will add all of those products into the cart ready for you to purchase. Please take note of the host code on my blog if you do that, as that host code will then also enter you into a group who at the end of the month will get an extra little goodie from myself, just to say thank you for ordering through me. Right, I'm going to use two adhesives to bring this together. I'm going to use my Seal Plus to put the boxes together initially, but then I'm going to use my Tombow to actually pull the units together themselves. So one bit of adhesive down that top tab first, and then fold that over and bring it together. In fact, before I do, let's run that adhesive down here to bring the reinforced top. I'm just going to fold that over like so. Then reinforced top, just fold it over on itself, and then I just bone folder it to make sure it's got the best press down. And then sometimes you might find you just need to give your lines an extra bone fold just to give them that crisp edge again after adding an extra layer of card to them. And then we can stick this together like so. There we've got one. It won't keep its shape at the moment, that'll be what these do in a moment. So all I do is pop a bit of adhesive on 3 of them. And then I get it to where I want it to be. I use my grid paper to make sure that my lines are straight, like so. And then I put the middle one down first. So the middle of the 3 that I've adhered. Now, on the bottom, you will see that these lines didn't fully meet. And I don't mind that because it's a pen pot. You're not really going to be looking at the bottom. I'd probably be different, like on my wine bottle, right where the bottoms did meet. On this, they're not. I'll just get all the other ones out of the way. And here we go. So I want it to be like that. And then just bring them over to each other and adhere them. Like so. And then you just need to do the same with the other 2. Bring them over to one another, press down, and again bring over to one another and press down. And then I just pop my Tombow in from the top, and I just make sure that we've got them all stuck down properly. And there we've got our first pen pot. Looks very different with the butterflies, doesn't it? Very different. So then we're going to do the same here. So this time, before I forget, we'll pop the bottoms, the reinforced lid over first. And get those re-burnished. There we are. Bit of adhesive down that tab. Oh, I don't know what I've done to my seal this evening. Bring that over and line it up. Like so. And then again, get 3 of the tabs and just pop some adhesive on the bottom end of them. I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm gone back into my old habit of fast fuse, and I'm doing the tick. Right, so again, pop it to where we want it. Make sure we've got our lines straight on our grid paper there. And 1 and 2. Bring them over to each other. So we line those up and we stick. And we do it again. Bring those lines over and stick. And then the final one and stick. And again, just put the bottom of my Tombow in there just to give them all a firm press. And there we've got 2. So our final one. Roll the seal down the reinforced lid again. Press over. Push that down there, like so. Just give those a quick reinforcement. And then, like the others, pop a bit of seal on there. Line that up. And then take 3 again. Don't do it too rough like I just have. and then those 3 tabs again, line those up, bring that middle one down, and we'll pop those together like so. And again, just using the bottom of my Tombow just to press those down. So, moment of truth, let's bring them together. So make sure the faces are at the front. I did it that way around. And then we just need to bring those together now. So I always start the smallest pot and just make a quick note as to which is sticking to which. So it's this one. And I'm just going to pop Tombow on the side of that. So we've got some wiggle room. As Seal Plus will stick too quickly, and if you stick it too high or don't get it straight, that'll be it. You'll be committed and it'll be far too late. So holding them down, line them up and just press them together like so, and I'm just going to hold those in place for a moment. So with this being the final project of this week's series, I thought I'd put a question out there as to which project this week you've liked the best, which has been your favourite, which has been one that you will go and have a try. So just as a quick recap, we started with the in-colour note cards. We had 5 of those. Then we put them in the box on day 2. Day 3 we made the wine bottle wrap using the Gilded Autumn Suite. On day 4 we made the Never Ending card. Day 5 was the oval box, which I used the Halloween suite for. Yesterday was the double slotted treat box, and then of course today we're making a hexagon pencil pot. So the first 2 are stuck together, then line these up, and we need there and there on this one. So again, just Tombow them and then line those up and press them on. So I will be putting a quick poll on my page just after this, just to see which project you like the most, which one you would try yourselves. If you want further information about making these or buying the products to make these, let me know, and I will help you to work everything out. So there we go, we've got all 3 pots together there. Just move that one down slightly. There we go. And as you can see, it stands quite sturdy. Just going to grab the bits out of the other one just to show that this one fits them in as well, like so. And there we are. In fact, Tombow will fit in there. I don't know if my seal will. Kinda. But as you can see, it all stays up quite straight and sturdy. It doesn't topple with the weight. And so that's this evening's project. In fact, what I might do is I did put a bit of ribbon around the tallest one. See if this one needs any. Yeah, so I'm going to pop that round. Just take those out a minute while I do it. So this is the polka dot tulle ribbon. This is one of my go-tos for colours that don't have their own ribbon, or if I don't have it, like Petal Pink does have its own ribbon, but it's not one that I've added to my collection. I'm not a massive pink girl. And then this, all I'm going to do is tie this into a knot rather than a bow. I love this ribbon for knots. It's so forgiving. And then just grab my fabric scissors. We got a gorgeous knot there. So we'll just move that into the middle there, and that just finishes it off nicely. So we'll pop all these back in, and then I can show you what it looks like again. So there we have it. So that's tonight's finished project. Apologies there, the phone was ringing. So yeah, that's tonight's project. Thank you all so much for watching, especially those who have tuned in every single day. It has been much appreciated. All of these will be on YouTube and my blog, and you can catch up there at any point. These Facebook Lives will also be available on Facebook forever, as long as they keep hold of them, so you can refer to these anytime then as well. So last thing to say is don't forget that giveaway, and if you do purchase anything from myself, please don't forget the host code to be in with that host group that will get an extra free gift from myself. And I'll leave it there. See you next time. Bye.